What's up, Heat fans? This is Nic Rohloff at the Heat Report. After the Heat win their third game of the season, 108 to 107, they barely hold on against the Los Angeles Lakers. And oh boy, we have a lot to discuss because even in victory, it is still a lot in question when talking about your Miami Heat. Once again, outscored by the Lakers in the fourth quarter, 108 to 107. They hold on, but they were outscored 28 to 18 in that fourth quarter. And that's the real problem that the Heat have, is that they are a horrible offensive team when the fourth quarter begins. It's really bad, man. It really is something to be concerned about. And the question is how do you fix it? Where do you go from here? Because even though the Heat have won now 2 games in a row, they're 3-4, and they have a game against the Grizzlies on Wednesday, a chance to get back to 500. The issue that I have is there's still not a lot to like and a lot visually that you're happy about. Jimmy Butler played very well in this game. 28 points. He showed up. He really did well for the Heat in this game, and it's something that I have been clamoring for. And if the Heat want to be serious this year and become a good team in the regular season, getting yourself a higher seed when it comes to playoff time, you need to have a more consistent Jimmy Butler in the regular season. And he put up 28 points. He was fantastic in this game. It's the Jimmy Butler that we have grown to love, the Butler that shows up in the postseason and gets the job done for the Miami Heat. He showed up today. He knocked down 3 threes, actually went 3 or 4 from beyond the arc. And if you're getting 3 threes from Jimmy Butler, well, now your offense becomes very dangerous, because if teams have to respect that jumper from Jimmy, it's just going to create a lot of more open looks for other players on the Heat. And that's kind of where I want to go. Tyler Hero has been phenomenal this year. Leading scorer for Miami, averaging 26 points per game through 6 games. Well, in the 7th game, he really struggled. Had 22 points in this one on 7 of 20 shooting, I believe. Let me double check that and make sure that's what it was. But he really struggled from beyond the arc as well. Went 2 of 10 from 3. And the Heat coming into this game have actually been a top 10 three-point shooting team this early on in the season. Well, they weren't that today. They shot 32.7% from beyond the arc. And listen, if in a 1-game sample size, I'll take it. If that's your bad game at 32%, that's fine. He shot 8 of 20. Tyler Hero, by the way. Just want to clear that up. But the problem I have is that once again, the Heat's fourth quarter offense disappeared. 18 points in the fourth quarter. That is unacceptable. And the problem is, if you're not getting a good Tyler Hero in the fourth quarter, and he's been good in the fourth quarter in the past, so I'm not going to fully put the blame on Tyler. But when you think about the struggles, it was all because Hero could not make a 3. 2 of 10. And when he's not making his jumpers, then it just allows the defense to clamp in on other people. Because if you don't have to worry about Tyler, well, now Bam gets pressured. Now Jimmy gets pressured. And there's a lot more pressure. And that is the one thing that the Heat have struggled with this season, is that when they have the pressure on them, they are getting hounded by the defenders. They struggle. When the defense tightens up in the fourth quarter, they have struggled to perform on offense. There's a lot to like offensively for Miami in quarters 1 through 3. In quarters 1 through 3, you like what you've seen. But the problem is the fourth quarter is the money quarter. And if you can't win the money quarter, then we got issues. More to break down in a second, but I got to show some love to today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports platform in North America. And it's because instead of having to play pros and sharks, just play the numbers. Pick 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in if you pick correctly on more than or less than. I had a bad beat, to be honest, just fully honest, bad beat for Nic Rohloff on Monday's game on Prize Picks. More than 14.5 points for Reeves. He smashed that. Less than on D'Lo, 15.5. He got ejected in the middle of the fourth quarter with 13 points. So I got lucky there. But then Tyler Hero had 22 points. I needed him to get 24. Could not hit the more than, so I unfortunately lost. But I'll be back for Wednesday's game against the Grizzlies, and you guys can join me, rapper Meek Mill, comedian Andrew Schultz, and others with Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Get that first deposit match up to $100. The best in the business. Don't shy away. Join Prize Picks today. You will not regret it. All right, back to Miami. And before I transfer over to Bam Adebayo, because he was special tonight. He was special. The fourth quarter issues have to be addressed. And when you look at why isn't the offense for Miami good in the fourth quarter? Why do they keep on blowing the lead? Well, one, it's turnovers. They had 9 turnovers in the fourth quarter. That's not going to cut it. Like, if you had 10 turnovers in a game, that would be a really good low turnover game. Or maybe just below average or above average. 9.25? So the Heat have to be more careful with the ball when it matters most. And 2, the Heat have to be better offensively, which means not turning the ball over and getting better looks. Now, how can that be solved? Well, it can be solved by getting a real point guard. Now, full transparency, I thought Kyle Lowry was really good tonight. He pushed the pace more than he usually does, and it allowed the Heat to get better looks offensively quarters 1 through 3. Lowry also had a key defensive play where he drew a charge. This is me not rating on Kyle Lowry's parade because even though he played good, I think he needs to be traded still. And why do I think that? Well, he's still very old, and your question is durability, but you also should not be paying Kyle Lowry $29.7 million this year. Lowry being your third highest paid player, on this team is a flat-out joke. A joke. It really is. That Kyle Lowry, the production he's giving you, $29.7 million? Come on now. But he did play well tonight. So I'm not saying that this fourth quarter struggles by Miami in this specific game is on Kyle Lowry. But it's more on the overarching theme that the Heat need to get a point guard. And a real good point guard. But the question is, who is there even out there to get? It would have to be in the trade market because there's no free agent out there that is going to come in and make an impact right away for the Heat. You think of a guy like Malcolm Brogdon potentially. And the problem with Brogdon is that, one, he's in Portland, a team that does not want to deal with you. And to be honest, I don't even want to deal with them. He's also a Clutch client, and Pat Riley doesn't like working with Clutch. But that being said, Brogdon would be a perfect piece on this Heat team. Well, when you think about what he can provide you in handling the offense, he will push the pace, but he will also work things slow and get into the Heat's offense. He can also knock down three-pointers and in a high rate when he's healthy. He struggled in the postseason last year, but he was also banged up and had a severe elbow issue. He had that surgery in the offseason. He's fully healed, and he's putting up good numbers in Portland. He'd also provide good defense. He is a Heat player. I think Malcolm Brogdon could be a player that you keep your eye on. Do I think Brogdon happens? No. But it is someone that I would want the Heat to try to go after, whether it be Kyle Lowry in a second-round pick or something like that. I don't know what it would take to get Brogdon, but he would be a perfect addition in place of Kyle Lowry. Starting at point guard, he'd be elite in closing lineups because of his defense and playmaking and his three-point ability on catch-and-shoot scenarios. I love Malcolm Brogdon. I think he'd be a great pickup. Another player that comes to mind, could they go after an old foe, Marcus Smart, who's with the Grizzlies? You're going to get a first look at him on Wednesday. Memphis hasn't had a win. The Grizzlies have been horrific. Could they sell if they're just out of the playoff race before John Morant comes back? It's possible. And if they do sell, maybe Marcus Smart is someone they get rid of. Former Defensive Player of the Year. Marcus Smart has questions when it comes to his mental aspect of the game because he does do a lot of dumb things sometimes offensively. But there's no debating his defensive impact. And even though I think he's a bit of an overrated defender, I think Marcus Smart would be a perfect Heat culture player. He takes charge. He's gritty. He's grimy. He grinds for everything, and he's just a winner. He's won everywhere in his career, Oklahoma State, and even with the Boston Celtics. Obviously, the Grizzlies is not going too well. But if the Heat were to trade for Smart, it would show dividends for Miami with three-point shooting because he can make catch-and-shoot threes. You just don't want him handling the rock too late in the fourth quarter. But in catch-and-shoot scenarios and defensively, I think Marcus Smart would be a fantastic addition. So I'm looking at Brogdon and Smart as two potential point guard options for the Heat, maybe at the deadline, maybe a bit sooner. But I do think the Heat need to acquire a real point guard if they want to compete in this NBA postseason coming up. Before we head out of here, I want to show some love to Bam Adebayo. He is special, man. 22 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, a triple-double for Bam Adebayo against the Lakers. He is the third best center in the NBA without a question. It goes Jokic, it goes Embiid, it goes Bam, and then there's a clear drop-off. Wherever you want to put number 4, I don't give a shit. But Bam Adebayo is the third best center in the NBA without a question, and he is really proving this season with his efficiency, his defense, and his overall play. 20 rebounds, 22 points, and 10 assists for Bam Adebayo while playing top 3 defense in the NBA, and it ain't 3 or 2. Bam Adebayo is special. He's generational, and you should be lucky as a Heat fan that you have him on your team because he is an anchor, and he could do everything on the basketball court for your Miami Heat. He is so damn special, and I'm glad 13 is wearing that Heat culture uni. He officially, by the way, 2-0 in those Heat culture unis. I was critical of them, but maybe they're a jersey the Heat should wear more often if they're going to win every single time they wear them. That's going to be it for today's video. Make sure you subscribe to the Heat Report. We crossed 6,000 over the watch party tonight. Continue to join us as we do have more watch parties throughout the season, more Heat news, more Heat rumors. Everything you want as a Heat fan is here at the channel by a Heat fan, so join us today.